Now, today we shall discuss the principle of superposition for gravitational force. Now, try to understand the concept first of all. In this, say for example, you have say three particles, okay, or say four particles. Now, see, this is your first particle, this is second particle, third particle, and fourth particle. Now, if you want to find the force on this particle, then the force, rather attractive force, on this first particle will be there because of the second particle, so it will attract or it will experience the force in this direction, that is towards 2. Then it will experience the force due to third particle and it will be in this direction, and it will also experience the attractive force due to fourth particle, and this force will be in this direction. Now, resultant of all the three forces, resultant of force on 1 by 2, force on 1 by 2, we consider the magnitude as well as direction, force on 1 by 4 and force on 1 by 3. All these three forces will give you some resultant force on this first particle, and that will be the resultant force on the first particle, which we can represent as force on 1. So force on 1 is because of force on 1 by 2, force on 1 by 3 and force on 1 by 4. So resultant force is a vector sum of all the other forces which are acting on the particle under consideration, and this is the principle of superposition, that resultant force on a given particle or particle under consideration is the vector sum of all the forces which are acting on this particle under consideration by other particles present around it. Okay, so now we shall discuss its vector form in detail. Okay, now see, we have the net gravitational force on the particle is the vector sum of individual gravitational forces on the particle. Now we consider this first particle here, its position vector will be r1. Okay, now we consider the force on particle whose mass is m1 by the particle whose mass is m2, and we know the law of gravitation and the force and the vector form of gravitational force. We know the formula for the vector sum of gravitational force. Force on 1 by 2, force on first particle by the second particle is given by F12, and that is equal to gm1m2 upon r12 magnitude square, that is distance between first particle and the second particle, and square of it multiplied by the unit vector r12 cap. Or if you want to write in the form of vector r21 cap, okay, r21 cap, then it becomes minus gm1m2 upon r21 magnitude square into r21 cap, because r12 cap is equal to minus r21 cap. This we know. Okay, this is your first result. Okay, similarly the force on 1 by 3 we can write. Now it is very easy to understand once you understand one equation. Force on 1 by 3 is gm1m3 upon r13 magnitude square into r13 cap, or minus gm1m2 upon r31 magnitude square into r31 cap. Similarly, force on 1 by 4 we can write force on 1 by 4. Okay, that is F14. Okay, gm1m4 upon R1 4 magnitude square R1 4 cap, or if you want to reverse it in R41. So R41, if you want to write, then here minus sign is kept. Okay. Now just we have to carry out the vector sum force on 1 is equal to Gm1m2 upon R12 magnitude square R12 cap. That is first equation. Then second equation is added plus Gm1m3 upon R13 magnitude square R13 cap, and plus Gm1m4 upon R14 magnitude square into R14 hat. Okay, this way you can represent. Okay, or you can write in a different way if you want to convert the value of G, and G is a constant. The value you are knowing, it is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. Okay, and as you know, the unit will be Newton meter square per kg square. Now this value Cavendish has determined experimentally. Okay, and the diagram of this experiment is shown in figure. Okay, there are two masses which are tied with a rod of length L, which is tied with a string, or rather this is the very thin wire. Okay, it's a fine wire or supported by a very thin wire, twistless wire, and this is the rod. Okay, AB is the rod, and two ends are having the two masses, that is M. Same masses are kept. Now there are two large masses or two large spheres are kept at distance d. You can see the distance between small m and this big M is small d. The mass of this big sphere is capital M. Okay, and the distance between this small mass and the big mass is a distance d. Now try to understand what will happen. This small mass will be attracted by this big mass. Okay, so this mass will try to go in this particular direction, and here also the same thing happens. The small mass will be attracted by the big mass and it will try to go in this direction, and that is why the rod AB which is there will try to rotate, or we can say it will experience slight torque, and there will be a twist in this string or a wire. The wire will be twisted slightly. So this small mass which is tied here will somewhere go here. Okay, it will come slightly here, and this mass will come here. Okay, there will be a slight twist, and the rod will be having its different position than the initial one. There will be a slight twist of angle theta because of the attractive force by the two masses of capital M on small m. This is explained here. Okay, now try to understand the force first of all. The gravitational force on sphere A and B. Okay, the gravitational force on sphere A and B is, I have explained, that is F. Magnitude of force we are finding G M1 M2, that is small m capital M or capital M into small m upon d square. Now try to remember the definition of couple of the torque. This is just similar as that of the force which is acting on the handle of the scooter. Try to understand. Scooter na handle upar one force is acting in this direction, the other is acting in this direction. What will happen? It will go this side, the wheel will move this side, and you can take the turn this side. Or opposite forces will give the turn on the right hand side. Now try to understand the couple of the torque here. What is the definition of couple of the torque? Couple of the torque is nothing but magnitude of one of the force multiplied by the perpendicular distance between line of action of force. So magnitude of force we have just now written, F is equal to G m1 m2 capital M into small m upon r square, multiplied by perpendicular distance. Now one force is this in this direction, the other force is in this direction. So distance between these two forces, perpendicular distance between these two forces, is nothing but the length of the rod. Say length of the rod is capital L. Okay, so we just have to multiply this force which we have written, G small m into capital M upon r square, by the length of the rod, and that will give you the couple of the torque, or other magnitude of the torque acting on this rod. Because of it experiences this kind of rotation. Okay, so that is written here. The restoring torque acting on this is force multiplied by the length. Okay, Gmm upon d square into L. So this is not as such the restoring torque, but it is the torque acting on the sphere A and B. Okay. Now restoring torque. Try to understand, when the big spheres are removed, then again the system will come in its original position. That is why it must have some restoring torque, and restoring torque, say tau prime, is directly proportional to the angular displacement theta. More the twist, more the restoring torque. If you give more twist to the string, if you have a string, then if you twist it more, then more swiftly it comes back to its original position, or it will try to come back to its original position. Okay, so more the angular displacement, more the restoring torque. And tau prime can be written as k theta. So k theta, it is written, k is a constant of proportionality. Now see, as the system remains in equilibrium, now when you are keeping these spheres here, okay, these spheres are kept here, then this will try to remain in this particular position of slight angular displacement. So restoring torque, okay, restoring torque will be in opposite direction. So restoring torque and the torque acting on it, both must be equal in magnitude. So tau prime must be equal to tau. Okay, so both the torques are then compared. Tau prime is equal to tau for equilibrium. Okay, so Gmm capital M small m upon d square into L is equal to k theta, and if you make G as a subject of formula, then k theta d square upon mml. Here the value of theta can be obtained by lamp and scale method, that is experimentally theta, that is twist, can be obtained. D is the distance between two spheres of masses capital M and small m that can be measured. These masses must be known to you. L is the length of the rod. Okay, and the twist constant, K, constant of twist, that can be obtained by the other experiment, which is as such not discussed here. Okay, that can be found easily by using the other experiment, and the value of G can be obtained, and it is found to be the value 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11.